Happy Halloween. It's the witching hour in Nacogdoches, Texas, behind the pine curtain. I thought I'd tell some real life ghost stories. There's this house on Center Highway. Cool house, but haunted. We used to have parties out the wazoo. Our favorite trick was to take people downstairs to the earthen basement and get everybody in the center. And for some reason, there were strange containers down there. They looked like coffins. Anyway, we'd get people down there and somebody would turn off the lights. I don't remember where the lights were, but the lights were somewhere else. Nobody saw who turned out the lights. They might have been in the house. I don't remember. But everybody would scream and run out. And it was really awesome. It was quite the party house. You didn't want to be there alone. I would shiver in the mornings when people were gone, just counting the cars going by on the highway, praying for light or for someone to return to the home, because it was terrifying to be in that house by yourself. I never saw anything, but I heard plenty. Somebody kept calling my name. They kept calling my name. They kept calling my name. I was like, did you call my name? No. Somebody's been calling my name. I thought you were calling my name. I thought I heard you call my name. We weren't the only ones who thought this place was haunted. It has a long history. My roommate saw something. I didn't see anything. I thought maybe I saw something, or maybe it was my imagination from what she told me that she saw. We were getting ready to go to Yamo's karaoke, and we were in the hallway. In this hallway, you didn't want to stay in the hallway. This hallway was crazy. And there was a walk-through closet to the front room, the music room. And she said she saw a white figure walk by. And I thought I saw a white figure walk by. And I said, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go. And we went on to Yamo's and we didn't talk about it again. And we moved out of that place into straight another haunted place. And this place was really haunted. But I do remember going back, because a succession of friends took over this wonderful house on Center Highway. And I remember going back for it was 4th of July party or something. And we were getting potato salad or something in the house, and heard, ha 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 ha. I'm not kidding you. It just sounded like, ha ha, like, hi, you're back, ha ha. And I don't remember what I did with the food, but we went out to the porch and said, did y'all go ha ha ha? They were like, no. Well, are you sure? And they said no, but somebody said ha ha ha, and it was crazy. I remember one night There were shining eyes looking in the window, and this is out in the country pretty much. It's outside the city limits. The eyes were shining, looking in the window. And this window is like 15 feet off the ground at the back. And I remember seeing a figure stand at the edge of the yard, looking off into the silent, dark woods. We had a blast at that house, but you didn't want to be there alone. One night, and he wasn't a ghost, but this was terrifying. One night, I was laying on the couch. We didn't have a phone. We didn't have TV. We didn't have anything. We didn't have air conditioning. We had the attic fan on. And the front door opened with the screen door. Thankfully, I latched it. Everybody else was asleep. I was just on the couch. I don't know what I was doing. All of a sudden, because the thing about this house is that you would hear footsteps go across the porch. It was the coolest porch you've ever seen or been on. But you would hear it. I never heard it. But that night I was laying on the couch and I heard the footsteps coming up the stairs. Pitch black. You couldn't see. You could only hear footsteps. And I was like, oh God, I'm hearing the footsteps. But then suddenly a man peered in the doorway. And he said he wanted to ride the motorcycle. I was like, we don't have a motorcycle. And he's like, I want to ride the motorcycle. I was like, I don't know who you want, but we don't have a motorcycle. And he started jiggling the handle. And it was like, because I was so glad that I latched it for one thing. And then I went and got my roommates. I stood in the closet, the walk-through closet, with a baseball bat while my roommate talked this man off the porch. And it was no problem. I don't know. I remember one time a man came to the door. He just wanted to talk to who was living there because he'd lived there and he wanted to make sure that we were taking good care of the place. And that's the way that place is. It's one of those places that you love. You didn't want to be there alone. I can tell you that much. You did not want to be there alone. And I'm not the only one who has said that. Trying to quit. I'm not inhaling it. I promise. So the next place, we moved a roommate to this apartment on Old Line Drive in Nacogdoches. This house, this apartment, had a history from before with my other roommate. We used to throw the Houston Chronicle. And I remember that exact apartment throwing the paper there. And every morning there was some creepy flickering going on in the house. Somebody was up watching TV at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4, whatever time we got there. And this is the same apartment that I moved into that was very, very haunted. There was a lot of evil stuff up in that house, that apartment for some reason. We took it over from a friend. I don't know if there was some witchery going on. This friend had seen some things, some weird dreams, some ghost-like things. Anyway, got us to take over the lease. The thing about this place was the stairway. It was a 2-story apartment with a staircase, an iron staircase that went to the second floor. Well, at the top of the second floor was a landing, and you didn't stay in that landing. There was something about that landing. It was very small, but you didn't stay in the landing. You went into the bathroom or the bedroom, and you locked the door. You just did it. I don't know why, but it was terrifying. I don't know what it was. Something about that landing, and I wasn't the only one. Things would go missing all the time, and then they'd just show right back up where you just looked. I became obsessed with the Ouija board. And I thought, I just really like this, there's nothing wrong, I just like getting drunk and doing the Ouija board. And that's what they say. You get obsessed. And I was obsessed. Don't do this, people. Don't do it. So much stuff was unleashed. It was just a nightmare of stuff. I had my first astral projection in this apartment. It was wild. I zoomed off the couch in this rainbow of stars tunnel and went over this demon-looking lizard thing. I was like, haha, I'm going over you. And he's like, what are you doing? And I came to this platform where these lips were, these big red lips, and they were just talking. Mum, 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 mum. I couldn't hear them. And I can't hear anyway. But I couldn't hear them. And for some reason, I thought, I think it would be really cool if I just kissed these lips. And I went slam back in my body. And something was coming. I don't know what it was. I felt this. Something was coming with great haste and panic from upstairs. It was some kind of shadow thing because I had astral projected and got away from them. And maybe it was that lizard thing that I saw. I don't know what those things are. I've had, what do you call them? Paralysis. Where you're asleep, you wake the hell up, but you're still paralyzed. And then something's coming down the hall for you, and what the hell? And I don't know if those are spiritual attacks or not, and they probably are. I'm kind of familiar with them. Anyway, I've got obsessed with the Ouija board, and I just wanted to do it every night. I wanted to do it every weekend. I wanted to get drunk and do the Ouija. Just do the Ouija. Let's do the Ouija. Let's find out stuff. So stupid. I was downstairs painting in the kitchen one day, and this was just a weird thing. I mean, I don't know, and I still don't know. But I looked down, and walking through the kitchen was this giant, I don't know, salamander, newt. I don't know what it was, some kind of lizard. It was black and red. And it was in my kitchen. And I opened the back door, and it walked the hell out. I was like, what the hell was that? Black and red, and how did it get in the house? I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. I've looked it up, and I've never seen anything like it. So this place had a lot of discord. I started working at the jail, and my days and nights were mixed up because I had to work night shift, and I lost my lighter. Night shift, and well, I'm totally distracted now. Alright, so I had to work night shift at the jail, and so my days and nights were mixed up. And I was sleeping in the daytime, and I had this dream. This huge, huge person was standing next to the bed. But he wanted something next to me, but he couldn't get to them, and he couldn't get to me either. Okay? And I woke up, I said, that's weird, and I went back to sleep. I never had a repetitive dream in my life. Immediately, I dreamed of this big standing next to the bed, wanting something next to me, and couldn't get to him because I was there. He couldn't get to me either. He was mad. I was like, and I went back to sleep, and I dreamed it again. And I got up, and I was just like, whatever. And my roommate came home, and she proceeded to tell me about a dream she had about something from the Dead Poets Society. A maniac. I can't remember what he said. Gulping, a hairy man tooth out of something. Maniac is the word that she described this guy. And I was like, let's go for a ride. Why don't we go for a ride? Let's don't talk about this now. Let's go for a ride. Get out of here and let's go for a ride. Because she'd had the same dream about the same guy. It's just like the same guy. And I don't remember much after that. We got out of there as quickly as we could. And it didn't really follow us. I still had astral projections from then on. I don't even dream anymore. So I forgot what else. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. So it got to a point where it was just really bad in the house, the apartment. It was just really thick. It was heavy. It was oppressive. We needed help. And there was a friend who was very psychic, according to him. I don't see why not. He'd had a lot of encounters with Nacogdoches ghosts. There was one that was an Indian. He called him a renegade, an angry Caddo who would stand outside his house, stared at him, and couldn't get to him. But then one night he got to him, and this Caddo Indian, just rushed him. Anyway, this guy, he came to help us. He brought his oil, and he drew crosses everywhere, and he blessed the house. And he said, I'm gonna go upstairs, because he saw that landing, and he knew that's where it was, and that's where he went to sit. He sat cross-legged on the landing, and he proceeded to have a vision of what was going on in this apartment. He asked us to put him in white light and put ourselves in white light. And we were standing on the stairway. All of a sudden, my roommate started grabbing her chest like she couldn't breathe. And I was like, that's weird. Why are you doing that? And all of a sudden, I could not breathe. It was so heavy and oppressive, I could not breathe. I couldn't breathe. We ran downstairs so he could breathe. all of a sudden we could breathe again. We were out of that atmosphere. But what had happened was our friend had this vision of what this was going on here, and it was partially karmic. He felt like that I was related to this situation. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, it was about a little kid who lost my lighter again. A little kid with a stepfather who lived in that area, not necessarily in that apartment, but the stepfather abused that child and killed him. And my friend felt like that I was his mother. I don't think so. I just didn't really feel that way, but it would make sense that the dream was the child was in the bed next to me, and the man wanted to get to the child, but he couldn't because I was there. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, we got the heck out of that place. We had another psychic friend who went to the apartment as we were moving out, and he just was like, well, it's up those stairs, isn't it? And we were like, yep. Anyway, we got out of there. Let me think that, the next one is another historical Nacogdoches haunting. I had a studio, a little art studio, a little music recording studio type deal in the Nelson Davis house on Main Street. This house was a doctor's office, surgery, upstairs, downstairs, beautiful house. There were a lot of people who had studios there. There were massage therapists. There were even a midwife who worked there, had a place, had a studio, had a room. I had a room in the Nelson Davis house upstairs. And this place was cool. It was awesome in the daytime, but when it started getting dark, you started getting out of there. You started packing up your stuff and leaving because there was an unwelcome feeling after dark. This was another place where you heard your name called. Apparently, my friend had the place next to me. She heard her name called. So I was like, okay, great. I don't want to hear my name called, but maybe I'll hear my name called. I've got to paint, so I was there painting. Well, I heard my name called. I heard my damn name called. I was like, no. But this actually was a friend calling my name. But one day when I was painting one of my paintings, well, the wallpaper swelled and my painting flew off the wall and hit the floor. I was like, you're not a fan, I don't guess. One night, in this place, something about the middle stairs, it had a huge stairway, beautiful, but you didn't want to go up it. You didn't want to go up it or down it. You wanted to go up the creaky, little, tiny, cramped back stairs because the middle way was spooky. One night we were there, and we weren't supposed to be there, really, at night, drinking beer and smoking cigarettes and acting silly. But we were one night, and we were really acting silly. And we opened the door to the hall because we heard something. And we opened the door and turned on the hall lights, and all three busted at once. Pow! And we said, okay, we shut the door and we went out the other way. my friend who likes to see ghosts, this is in front music rooms, also saw a white figure in this house. I didn't see it, but I felt it. Or at least I felt her freak out, and she saw it. One day, I was recording a little song. I don't remember what it was, but it was on an old 4-track recorder, and it has LED lights that light up, and you have a little microphone, and I was going through the song, and you push record and pause, so that you just have to hit pause, and it'll record. I went to go do that, and I heard, "All right, Mel, let's do it," in my headphones. Okay, thing is, the lights lit up. I wasn't recording, so no telling, but I heard it. I thought, wow, a fan. They don't like my art, but they like my music, I guess. And I played the song. Well, it started getting dark, and I started thinking, what the hell was that? And, it's starting to get dark, and you leave out of that place. We kind of got in trouble. We had to go to a meeting the next day, all hungover, and the owner was like, the lights all busted upstairs. We were like, all three of us were like, I don't know what happened. And those are my ghost stories. I sometimes feel that this house is haunted. I hear a shuffling noise sometimes, and I get spooked. Happy Halloween, y'all. Please be safe.